There's one observation which holds true throughout our development as a species. It's that groups of human beings will try to dominate other groups for their own ends. This search for power has been perfected over thousands of years, and now we do not have to look far to see the manipulative techniques influencing our lives, some of them in sinister, unseen ways. Here are 10 creepy mind control videos on YouTube. Number 10 is the Clinton stare. In an ideal scenario, we would place great trust in our leaders. Those who are charged with keeping our country safe and prosperous are supposed to chart a course for us all, which is useful and reliable. But we do not live in an ideal world. Some leaders are corrupt, but what if that corruption does not come from a leader's character flaws, but instead is brought about through mind control? During President Clinton's administration, footage was captured of him before giving a live address to the world. Some mind control researchers claim that the long absent stare and almost unconscious behavior of the president is indicative of him being a victim of mind control. There's no doubt the footage is strange, but is it proof, as some believe, that world leaders are being manipulated to set a shadowy agenda? Number 9 is receiving instructions. Many theories of mind control suggest that those using these techniques are intent on affecting as many people as possible. One way to do this is not just to influence world leaders, but is also to place ideas in the minds of television presenters so that they may pass on a desired message. Some mind control advocates suggest that this involves using a trigger word or phrase, which then renders a person passive and open to receiving new orders. That's what some believe happened to Al Roker on the Today Show. During a segment, one moment he was happily laughing with his two co-presenters when one of them said the phrase, "Leave room for the Holy Ghost." Al Roker then seems to go into a strange trance, standing perfectly still and gazing at the camera intently, as though he was being brainwashed.
There is a lot of memories today, actually. It's a big day in music history.
35 years ago today, Elvis Presley passed away, the king of rock and roll, and as Mark Cohn says in his great song, Walking in Memphis, there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king.
Number 8 is technology controls us. Some videos on YouTube aren't about controlling a person's mind, but are there to help educate people against being manipulated by types of mind control. In one such video, Steven Hassan gives a TED Talk where he outlines how technology is being used not just to sway us in our ideas, but to control the way that we think. What's so disturbing about this talk is that the prime way technology is being used to do this is through various social media platforms. Steven Hassan's most profound statement, as someone who has been involved in helping people out of cults and brainwashing, is that our social media profiles are directly responsible for not only controlling how we feel and think, but are instruments of passing on influential information designed to spread ideas. In essence, we are all guilty of controlling the minds of our friends and families. Number 7 is control by aroma. There are some theories that mind control techniques are most effective when using aromas to trigger or send information. At first, this may seem unlikely. However, there is a lot of evidence in psychology and neuroscience showing the deep connection between memory, behavior, and smell. Some mind control believers highlight a video of Britney Spears to prove their theory. During this interview, Britney starts to act strange, as if she sees something to the side of her. Then she giggles and says hello to thin air. After this, she places her hand on her nose and mentions the smell of strawberries. It's a strange moment for sure, and some argue that this video showcases efforts by shadowy groups to control the behavior of popular artists in order to disseminate their own information to the public in an underhanded way.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Ah, weird. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hello. Ew. Strong Brittany. Yeah, it was a weird time.
Number 6 is the phantom hand. Science fiction writers have hypothesized direct mind control for decades. The idea is that when one person thinks about carrying out an action, another person performs it. This is subtly different from being brainwashed with ideas. Instead, it's more like a person taking control of your body temporarily. In its most basic form, as shown in a TED Talk video from 2015, this technology allows a person to think about moving their arm and then someone else's arm moves involuntarily. As creepy as this is, the truth is much worse. Tech companies are working on these technologies and hope one day to be able to transfer a thought directly into another person's brain so that they believe it was their own. This begs the question, if the military is always a few steps ahead of what's publicly available, then are they already using this technology to control some people?
Oh, a little bit. A little bit. Okay, so relax. No, hit it again. Okay. Oh, perfect. Perfect. All right, so relax. Do it again. All right, so now.
Number 5 is the Tibetan question. The Tibetan question video focuses on a US State Department representative being interviewed about America's opinion on China's occupation of Tibet. While the man in the video initially skirts around the questions like a trained politician, when the interviewer asks a question about the self-determination of the Tibetan people, the man begins to act strangely. He looks blankly at the interviewer for some time and then smiles in a sinister way. Some argue that this is an example of a mind control technique wearing off, and the individual struggling through a confused moment of realization where their own thoughts briefly dominate the programmed message. There are numerous instances of this type of interview, and if even one of them is true, then those using mind control truly are affecting the way that our civilization operates.
What about self-determination for Tibetans?
Number 4 is the serum. It's easy to dismiss mind control theories as being nothing but paranoid thinking. However, there are many real mind control programs which have been declassified or leaked to the general public. One of the most famous is MK Ultra. This program involved dosing people with a special cocktail of hallucinogens in order to make them receptive to instructions. The National Geographic YouTube channel has a terrifying video about such programs and the government's attempts to perfect a serum which would turn people into unwitting sleeper agents. A key part of this serum was to induce amnesia after being given the mind control substances so that there would be no memory of the brainwashing process. Some believe these programs continue to this day and that many influential people are the victims of a new perfected serum.
Intensifies. The new goal is to cause an individual to become subservient to an imposed control, to the point where he will perform acts against his will.
Number 3 is frozen by words. This is one of the strangest videos on YouTube, and there's a lot of debate about what's actually going on in it. Some believe it's a prank by those in the video, others that it's been altered during the edit, but many believe the truth behind the video is far from good-humored. During a panel show for TNT, Shaq is seen on the left of a 4-man panel, and yet he's frozen. He doesn't move an inch, blink, or react to those around him. If this wasn't strange enough, on another episode of the show, he seems to do the the exact same thing again in another video. Some mind control experts have suggested that when a person freezes like this, it's because they are under the influence of a mind control technique and are motionless while receiving new information. Whatever the truth behind these videos are, they're certainly bizarre at best and unnerving at worst.
Champion of the All-Star Weekend player talent show.
You are talented. I give you a little credit on that. A lot of credit. You're very talented. I mean, you're not a karaoke guy like me, but you can actually. You know they call me Old Brown Eyes, right?
As a matter of fact, you both have experience singing New York, New York. His was at the Slam Dunk Contest. Yours was in Vegas.
Yes.
We had the show out there. Here's just a little sampling.
Start spreading the news.
Number 2 are the eyes tell all. At the beginning of our list, we highlighted the strange empty stare of Bill Clinton in an unnerving moment when he was president of the United States. But mind control theorists usually argue that it doesn't matter where you fall on the political line. If you can serve those with the power to influence through mind control techniques, you will soon find yourself at the mercy of their powers. For example, in a video from 1992 when President George Bush Sr.'s wife, Barbara Bush, was on television, she was seen to be repeating the same phrase over and over again. Of course, all politicians have talking points, but some believe this video goes much further than that, and that Barbara Bush's unblinking stare as she repeats the exact same phrase several times is proof that she's being influenced by an unseen mind control technique.
Remember that every single man, woman, and child in the state of South Carolina awakens to a freer, safer world because of George Bush. I would remind people that every single morning we all awaken to a safer, freer world because of George Bush. And Nicole, I would remind you and the people of Florence that all of us awaken every single day to a freer, safer world because of George Bush.
And number 1 is a dark secret. Believers in mind control have cited for decades the idea that there is a powerful elite which conspires to shape the world as they please. While many of these theories can easily be dismissed, there are always moments which should give us pause. One such moment was when one of these supposed elites screamed about what she had seen. Her name is Gabriela Rico Jimenez. She's a billionaire, and in an impassioned plea standing on the pavement in Mexico, Gabriela yelled about how there was an elite group of people involved in a large network, that they were guilty of the most depraved crimes imaginable. Some have suggested that many within this group are victims themselves of mind control, and that Gabriela's outburst was a rare moment when the curtain pulled back and the mind control failed. But thank you for subscribing to my channel, and a very special thank you to all of my channel members, especially the names you see on your screen right now. All of you help keep my channel going. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.